Hey. Oh, I had such a huge day and a half. I was meeting people in person. I had gone to the big city. I was out in London. And today I am feeling the introvert hangover. Does this sound familiar to you? Have you experienced this? It is incredibly real, even though I had over 10 hours sleep last night. I am still feeling incredibly sort of foggy and mushy in my brain. So I was working on my business yesterday, so that was really intensive anyway, and that's something really important for us all to do, is to take time out of working in our business to work on our business, because that is how we begin to grow. If you haven't seen me before, if you're new to my broadcasts, my name is Susanna Reay. I am an introvert, and an introvert means your energies diminish when you're with lots of people. And you see, even my speaking and my words, I'm fumbling today because I am suffering from the introvert hangover. I am an online business strategist, and I know how we need to focus our energies to help us succeed and get further online. And one of these things is to be careful of our energy and our boundaries and when we put out there. So what I did today is I did make sure that on my calendar for today there was no outward facing activities. Do you do this if you know you've been needing to attend a big event? Because we have to. We have to get out there. It's really important to meet new people, like-minded people in our businesses, and also so you can start to share your message. But this introvert hangover is so real, and I'm feeling it every time I go off, and then I come back and I feel it again. And so I block my calendar out to counteract with this. But I also wanted to just come on briefly here onto my page and share with you the reality, because I know sometimes that everything seems shiny and bright and everyone only shares the positives in business. And I wanted to share, yes, it is so hard for me to go off and do these events, but I try and rest up as much as possible beforehand so I can be 100% present when I'm attending. But I also need to have these sort of what I call fuzzy days after, because my brain is whirling with ideas and progress and where I need to go in my business this year. And being part of a mastermind and working with a coach who's further down the line than you really helps you expand beyond that. Hi Linda, you can totally relate. Yeah, I'm just like, so fuzzy in my brain, and I'm like and I found myself, scrolling endlessly. Got 101 things in my head. So a list and a task list for what is my one priority to get done today. Because I've learned to also be realistic when we're in this recovery period. And gosh, you can hear it in my voice. I'm stumbling over words. I'm not normally like this. But this is what I've learned to cope with, and the energy and building those boundaries. And if you're listening sort of on replay as well, and this is you, let me know below. Let's just recognize this and make sure we schedule it in our diaries, not just for the event that you block out, but for the following day, or dependent on the length of the activity. Quite often I find the length of the activity, so if it's a day activity, I need to day recover. If it's a 3-day conference, I would need 3 days to recover fully. And that just means blocking out on the outward facing aspects of your business, because there's always so much we need to get done on the strategy side, when you're working on your business. So they're the things that you can sort of buckle down with. And also, whenever you go out and you meet people, you always gain extra insight. Because one of the super valuable things about meeting new people is they do ask. They say, what do you do? Who is that for? And even though the person you're talking to may not be your ideal client, that doesn't matter, because it's highly likely they know someone who is your ideal client. And so by sharing and spreading your message, not only do you increase your network and therefore your possibility of referrals, but also you gain clarity in what you do and your positioning. Because every time somebody asks you that, and they might tweak it or ask in a slightly different way, it makes you have to come up with a clearer answer and see what the impact actually is. And one of the things I absolutely adore by being part of a mastermind group, as tiring as it is meeting people from very different countries, very different industries, niches, and with different ways of looking at things, because it's so easy for us to get stuck in like our rut and our channel of this is what we need to do, but keeping our mind open to the possibilities. And it doesn't mean that everything that gets suggested you have to take on board, but it's about thinking about it and then applying specifically to where you are at in your business. But also for me, it's this keeping sort of aligned to yourself is very, very important. And in the online business world in particular, there's a lot of you should be doing X, Y, Z in this order, in that way. And for me, it's far more about creating a flexible plan your way. So you are staying aligned to how you wish to work, and you know what your inner boundaries, your values, and keeping back to your why you really started your business in the first place. So for me, the days after a mastermind session, even though it's about expanding on the day, is then coming back into yourself and feeling within what it is that you really need to take away and put with your intention to move forward. And that was my biggest takeaway from my session yesterday. Is I talk about goals myself, but goals are also intentions. And it's what is our intention to move forward? Where do we want to go? And that's, whilst I'm in this introvert hangover of feeling fuzzy, I know I will work my way out of it. But my core question in my head today that I wanted to share with you is, what is your main intention for the next 3 months? I don't like working further than that, because when we're in an online business in particular, things can change and directions can change quite rapidly, but we do need to stay focused for a certain length of time to see effect on our actions. It's not like you can do one thing one day and then see the results the next. Everything takes time to build. So take a think today. What are your main intentions, and what keeps you truly aligned to where you wish to go in your business? And I'll be back tomorrow as well on my next broadcast, going a little bit deeper into that. So now I'm going to sign off and say, let's have a break. It's time for me to realign for myself. So have a beautiful day, and I'll see you all again soon. Take care.